Good afternoon to everyone out there in our social media span of the world, I guess we could say. And of course, today is Sunday, but for our podcasters, you will be hearing it probably a few days later. So, good afternoon, good morning, whenever you listen to it. We appreciate everyone that's going to be tuning into this. I do have some bad news. My right ear is not playing very well because, as you heard from last week, the AirPods went through the washer. Well, the left ear is working well. The right ear decided not to work as well. So, as the intro played, it kind of was buzzy and it kind of made me sad. But so happy to be back here for our next episode of Count the Bucket, and very excited to talk about what went on in the NBA today. This week. Of course, we just finished up week 8. I'm going to say technically Sunday finishes the week 8. Very impact, some classic games, some high impact, some intense moments. A lot of stuff happened. But before we dive into the episode where we get going and everything in the NBA, let's go around the horn and say hi to everyone and see how our week's been. Nick, how you been doing today or this week?
It's been great, man. Had a little setback last night. So funny story. I locked my keys out of my car last night, and I actually just got them out like probably 2 hours ago. So
wow,
hey, yeah, minor setback, but hey, we're good. We're good. Shout out to Progressive, man. Came out,
Progressive.
ended up getting my keys out of my car, so it's all good.
Shout out to Progressive. Facts. Right, that's good to hear. Good to hear.
Promo.
Right,
hashtag promo. Progressive. Right. Hashtag whoops.
Quick promo, that'd be great for us. But nah, bro, great. Glad you got your keys back. Weekend was good. Calm, ready to start this new week. Man, the NBA is like you really don't need Netflix or any of these types of things because it's like season 76, episode, whatever. You know what I mean? So you just see different things every single game, every single day from these talented players, and just can't wait to dive in and get into that with you guys.
Yeah, to be fair, I haven't watched anything the last few weeks but NBA and college. This is the only thing I've been watching.
Well, I will say this at least. This week started my new job as the general manager at Advanced Auto. That Nick, if you were close to us, we would have broke into your car for you as well. So, I actually had to do that. I didn't do it. Somebody at one of my mechanics. He is a mechanic, but he works part-time for me. I had to break into
car as well. It's funny. I was actually getting ready to bust my window open. I'm not even gonna lie to you, but I was like, I don't think so.
That's why the important insurance is key.
Absolutely,
that's true.
There's stuff you could buy online. Like it's one thing. It's like a bladder that you can slip into the window and like it's a blood pressure cuff, and you pump it up. And it opens up where you get stuff in there. And
that's exactly what he did. He did it I'll be real. He got my door open in like probably less than 2 minutes. Like it was like that.
Kind of scary.
It's crazy. I was just about to say that, bro. Kind of scary. Yeah. It's kind of scary that you could just buy that online.
Yeah, for like $60, I think too. But
I paid $95.
Oh, crazy. Ooh. But my week has been kind of impact, I'll say. Starting a new job. Technically, that's only supposed to work 5 days, but anytime you start a new job, things go wrong with your paperwork, your whole training and everything. So I actually had to go in on my day off and work pretty much another day. I worked 6 days of my day off to make sure my I-9, if you guys know what that is for like tax purposes, everything like that, it wouldn't go through. So worked 6 days this week, salary, so you know how that goes. But other than that, it's fun. It's a new era for my life, and I'm excited about that. So it's all going to be going great, and I'm excited for new beginnings, I guess. So tomorrow starts.
You're the store manager, right?
Do what?
You're the store manager, right?
Yeah, they call him a general manager.
Okay.
I'm referred, yes, store manager. I am the man at the store, or the person, I guess, to be more politically correct.
Let's get it, my guy.
Yeah. So before we get into the NBA, as far as scores, games, things that went on, our hot takes, or the takes that you could count the bucket on, let's go ahead and address one of the things that happened today. I know CJ is going to have something that he pulls up. I'm just going to go ahead and let you have on it here and let you go for it.
Yeah, so today we lost a legend in the NBA community, one of the greatest coaches, Paul Silas. Had a lot of W's, coached a lot of great players. As we know, his son is the head coach of the Houston Rockets. So just want to send that condolences to the Silas family and the loved ones of Mr. Silas.
Definitely, man. 3-time champion throughout his career. Like CJ mentioned, coached an abundance of players. He actually coached LeBron, I believe, in his earlier years. He was coach of the Charlotte Bobcats, I remember. So, definitely a great mind for basketball, as we see is even carried down to his son, who is currently the head coach of the Rockets. So, yeah, he'll definitely be missed.
Absolutely. And that's I just want to say sometimes basketball is more than just a sport. As this young man has touched the lives of so many more than just the game of basketball. And that's why I love the game so much. It taught me as a young age how to be a young man and grow up to be mature, a person who can pass that on to my son. Actually, today, Sunday, we had church at 6 p.m. After that, we actually have a gym. Let him shoot on a little goal for about 20 minutes afterwards and trying to work on his form and everything. And then I did hear about him passing away. I was like, I'm going to try to take every moment I can to pass these things that I have learned as a player down to my children as well. And so thankful for coaches in my life who took the time to teach me things. So definitely want to give my condolence to the family who we'll probably never see, never meet or anything. But I know that they had a young man who touched the lives of many adults too in the NBA as far as that and made an impact. So hate to hear this, but we at least wanted to address it.
100%.
Praise for that. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not.
Rest in peace.
So with that, it's kind of hard to transition after talking about something like that, but a game that happened earlier this week was probably more of the highlight of the whole week. It's probably what everyone
like a whole weekend. I wouldn't even say just a game.
Yeah, because the way that the NBA is going now, they are playing extended games in a way in the same areas to keep the flying down because of COVID and everything. But we had the Suns playing at Pelicans. When they play, was it Friday? And then they didn't play yesterday, and of course not play today. Of course, the game, as CJ's got the stats pulled up, it ended 129 to 124. I left right before the game went into overtime to go to church, and one of the young kids that's in, I thought, man, I left and went to church. I was watching that game. From you guys to tell me what happened in overtime. I could talk with you as far as through the game, but the overtime I did not get to see. And I'm going to blow this up so I can see it a little bit better as well, though.
Perfect.
I'll let you go, CJ. I actually didn't watch the game. I just watched the highlights.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so this was really the highlight of – this is probably the highlight game or games of the weekend, definitely. You look at two of the best teams in the Western Conference. We know the battle that they had in the first round last year. They went to 6 games. That was without Zion. B.I. had a great series, averaged 30 in that series against the Phoenix Suns. Chris Paul stepped up, had some big games in that series. Booker as well. Aiden, I believe, had a 20, close to a 20-20 game in one of those games as well. And they just had the experience and the health because, again, the Pelicans didn't have Zion to get past New Orleans. But now New Orleans gets their guy back. To me, the most efficient scorer in NBA history. You just look at his field goal percentage; it's really out of this world. And what Zion Williamson is doing right now is all worldly. They won 7 in a row, 11 out of their last 13. And this was a big test. This was a big test. They had currently had the best record in the West before playing Phoenix twice, and then they just proved it again this weekend. First game on Friday was a close game. Booker was playing in that game. That was a really good game. Went back and forth. Zion again, just unstoppable. Perry, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. Some crazy games today, yes, sir. We're gonna get into everything, bro. Glad that you're here, man. Glad that you're here, my guy. See, the game on Friday, it was fireworks. Definitely watching that one for sure. Booker, Chris Paul, Aiden, these guys are back. So it's really, even though the Pelicans don't have Zion, they have depth. They didn't have, not Zion, they didn't have Ingram or Herb Jones, but they still have a lot of depth. Najee Marshall, Jose Alvarado,
Trey Murphy,
McCollum,
Larry Nance.
Larry Nance make big time plays. He was playing a 5 tonight because Valanciunas just didn't have it going offensively, and defensively was kind of a liability, and they needed that athleticism on Aiden in that closing lineup in overtime, which is one of the reasons why they won the game. We'll get into that in a little bit, but yeah, Friday was a good battle. It was a good battle on Friday, and then Zion, he does the.
Should we talk a little bit about this Friday?
Yeah, you got to start from you got to bring it.
Okay.
You got to bring it into today. That's the only way you can do it, bro. That's the only way you can do it.
Good.
So the Pelicans were up, and then Zion gets the ball, and he does the 360s, 720 windmill on them, and it's an unwritten rule. You don't do that. You dribble the ball out. Everybody knows that, but he said after the game, he was like, "It's out of character." But they knocked us out, and I wasn't there. I wasn't able to help my team, so I just wanted to kind of make a statement to them, like I'm here now, which he did. He had a 30-piece, He had a 30-piece in both of these games. So it just goes to show he's unstoppable. Nobody could guard him. I've been telling you guys this ever since I've been on the show. So it's just. I'm just happy that he's healthy. People can finally see he could play point guard. He could pass. He has high IQ. He has high passing IQ. People just see the dunks. He makes great reads in the pocket to the shooters in the right spots. All they got to do is go up. It's money. People sleep on that. He's a great passer. Yeah, he's going to be one of the best. If he stays healthy, he's going to be top 5 in the NBA for the rest of his career. Easily. 30-10. Easily, bro. You seeing it right now? 22, 23? Are we kidding? What? Him and Luka, Giannis,
I was very
Tatum. That's gonna be the top. That's gonna be it right there.
I was very impressed with one of his interior.
There's a lot of players, man. It's a lot of players that's gonna be great. AD's coming around, but Zion right now, for you telling me for the next decade, who am I gonna take? Healthy? Listen.
Let me talk about 2 plays and interrupt you here, and then I'll let you get back.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, break it down,
I just want to reiterate, I guess. I don't know. Piggyback, let me say that, with your passing on that. But there was I want to say it was Larry Nance, and even the reporter was talking about having Nance, who is a fast big, in the game, and how it helped because he was able to get up the court, set a pick before all 5 of the guys got back on offense and already had a switch, and then they swung the ball before Zion could get back, and he had it in the corner. And Zion didn't even make a move, but did the lob pass. Nance had let's say here, the defense was in front of Nance, and Nance was on the weak side of the goal, but still this guy, and Zion was able to make the lob pass over the top. Let me put something out of my hand, over the defender right to basically the receiver's hand, over the shoulder pass basically, and fed it perfect to Nance, who laid it in and got fouled, I think it was. The reporter talked about how good of a run out it was for Nance to be able to get up there, but that was a great pass by a big man like that to do it casually. I thought, I was like, wow, like you've got this 6'9", 300 pound, I don't know how much he weighs, leave me alone, guys, that just casually threw that without even hesitating like that, and just thread the needle on it. I was like, okay, like he is a good passer. Like, CJ's been on here saying a lot. He's a good passer, makes the right read. It just showed there. And then later on, he made his drive. It was the 4th quarter, penetrated, crossed over, went to the right side of the lane, was at the block, and somebody tried to cut him off. Well, that dude bounced off of him and went like baseline past the camera guys 3 rows into the stands, and he just, laid it in. Granted, maybe in time they start calling more of an offensive foul on that. But until they're
flopping. Well,
I don't think he flopped. Like, I really think he was just trying to guard him, and Zion's that solid.
All right, but what you want him to do? That's because he's not intentional. He's just trying to go.
No. Yeah, no, I'm not saying. I'm not saying that like Zion did anything. Right. I'm not saying Zion did anything dirty. Like, he was just a man beast that came through there, and that's just he ricocheted that far. Like
there definitely are times when sometimes I watch the games with the sound off to see if things are fouls or not.
Uh-huh.
And because
Okay.
sometimes the crowd can manipulate, and the announcers can manipulate how you see the game. So sometimes I watch games with the sound off. There are some times I'd be like, man, that might be an offensive foul, but they also flopping too. So the referees,
I agree.
they're not going to go with the flopping. That's it.
But what I was going to
I see
say
what
is
you're
just,
saying,
I'm not saying that it should have been offensive foul. I'm just saying if he drives like that and people try to stop him, there's no one strong enough that can stop him in his tracks on that penetration. That it's going to be lights out basically. Like, there's no way you can absorb his contact and stay present to be able to guard it, really. Because most people, as far as guards, you'll go into them, lean and bounce off, and then have that separation where you can shoot, and the bigs are still close to contend. If Zion does that, there's no one going to be close to defend, as that guy was 20 feet away from him. So he's going to be unstoppable, and that was going to his right. Like, if he goes back left to his dominant hand, wow. So that was just two plays I watched that I was like, wow, this guy is going to be a beast if he can learn to jog back to the bench and not look weird.
Yes, sir.
Got any points, bro?
So we're 8 weeks into the regular season. There are two coaches where you have to consider them to be top coach of the year candidates. There's Joe Mazzulla in Boston, and then there's Willie Green in New Orleans. Willie Green has done a phenomenal job with his team. We mentioned Zion is back. We saw the potential that they had last year in the playoffs. Now they're just picking off of that momentum from last year, adding on their franchise guy, and they're off to the races. I must say, man, you guys got me because well, first let me just say, I've always liked the Pelicans. Again? You guys got me because I've always liked the Pelicans. I'm not going to sit over here and say that I have downplayed them, but did I see them becoming a top seed in the West? No. But in my opinion, the West is still up for grabs. I feel like there's still a lot of teams that haven't really established themselves. The Warriors are one of them. The Suns got off to a good start, but they've kind of slacked off. They're 0-3 now since Chris Paul came back, which, by the way, they got absolutely demolished by Boston like a few nights ago. But New Orleans is just really taking advantage of what they got, man. I mean, Zion's playing incredible basketball. And I've said this on multiple occasions. Like, there's nobody in the NBA that can guard Zion. Nobody. I don't care how many defensive player of the years that you've had. You can't guard that man when he's in attack mode and going to the basket. Hey, I like that. I like that, man. Yeah. But I think, and that's why, I know that we're going to get to CJ's list a little later into the show, his MVP list, but you got to mention Zion up in that list. You got to mention Zion in that list. He's playing incredible basketball. He's healthy. That's the most important thing. And he's really leading the way for this team. The scary part about New Orleans' success, especially over these last few games, is that there's no Brandon Ingram. So, like, once you insert him back into the lineup, and then also Herb Jones as well, who's one of the best perimeter defenders in the league. So, like, once you insert those guys back into the lineup, specifically Ingram, alongside Zion, CJ McCollum, Valanciunas, these guys, like, it's over with, man. So New Orleans is playing phenomenal basketball. I'm very impressed. And I don't see them slowing down. I really don't, especially once guys like Ingram comes back.
Yeah, Ingram is going to have to he's going to have to play within the system, move the ball. That's what they're doing right now. Sometimes, he could get a bucket if you give him the rock. He can dribble it out because he can use his size, his measurables, to get his shots off. He's gifted. He's a gifted scorer, but play within the offense, it's going to be more beautiful. If you and Zion work together in unison as a squad, like similar to how we seen with Tatum and Brown in Boston, that's the ideal scenario. And I got to give David Griffin a lot of credit. The way he's building this team, did a great job of building this team around Zion. Even the backup five in Nance, he can space the floor, so you still even Zion with that. Even if Nance is in there, it works because you can still go 1 in, 4 out. And Zion's a beast. And like I said, he has the passing IQ. If you double him, sometimes he's coming from the 3-point line now, so they're starting to build a wall. He has to go back in the post and get those shots easier. I'm starting to see they're starting to build that wall. If he goes back and just sets the screen and goes back into a quick post, easier shots, easier lanes. If you collapse, those are just easier baskets. for your teammates off the kick pass. So, I mean, he's healthy. Ingram
That's
comes
the most
back.
important thing.
They're gonna be dangerous. Willie Green's done a great job. 12-3 at home. I mean, it speaks for itself. Zion's not playing around. He wants to show all the people that were talking about trade and this and that. He was going to leave and all this nonsense when he wasn't playing. He's showing that this is where he wants to be. I always knew that was his DNA. He's like a Giannis. Like, he's going to stay. He's going to try to win with where he got drafted to. That's his DNA. He's not like, you know what I mean? And if the player does want to leave, that's their prerogative. I'm just saying, like, he's just built different. He want to build it where he got drafted at. And David Griffin is giving him a phenomenal opportunity to do so. So I just want to see where this goes. Hopefully he stays healthy. And right now, they're the best team in the Western Conference. You got to put them right up there with the best team in the NBA. We're right up there with the Celtics too. Even though the Celtics got a better record, but they're playing the same level right now.
Speaking of that,
go ahead.
Yeah, but I mean, speaking of that, you know, when you talk about guys having that DNA of wanting to win with the team that drafted him, I think we're kind of seeing more of that in this recent NBA. Like, you know, we see, obviously, you mentioned Zion, you mentioned Giannis wanted to stay in Milwaukee. I see Ja want to win in Memphis, and a few other guys as well. I don't know about LaMelo and Anthony Edwards. Those two guys are up in the air, but I think we're kind of more going into that.
We can say
Dame now.
But I don't know if Dame really wants to win. I think he just wants to stay in his community.
I think Dame wants to win, but
they're good.
I mean, we all want to win. Let's be honest.
Have you been watching them? They're good.
They're playing great.
Portland's definitely been good. Portland's definitely been good. Besides that Denver game the other night, but
and that game was close, and Simons had
it was. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think he shot like 3 of 12.
Yeah, he hit a big shot late, but
one thing I want to ask you all, since I want to stay with the Pelicans at least because somebody said the Pelicans were going to be good this year.
We all said that, didn't we?
Not we all. Me and CJ, you were kind of there, but
what?
Somebody on a Facebook, NBA Facebook group said that they showed the highlights of I won't say the highlights, but the stats from the record. Let me say it right. The record of the Pelicans last year and the Pelicans this year, and was like, Zion's the only difference. Well, I had to correct him a little bit and saying, like, listen, I'm totally with you as far as Zion being a difference maker.
They got guys that can play, though. Like,
they also didn't have CJ at this point last year.
Sure, yeah.
And they didn't have some other players. Like, and I even put on there, I said, this team last year played completely different at the end of the year than they did at the beginning of the year. So, I mean, to compare the two, the team was even better at the end of last year than they were at the beginning. So he agreed with me, but they were just saying that Zion's great. It's like, I mean, obviously he's great. Like MVP possibly next year, if not this year, which we'll get into.
Yeah, if not this year, definitely if not this year. Because if he gets if they stay number one in the West, I mean, he's an automatic MVP candidate.
Absolutely, unless you're the Suns and it's not Booker. I mean, I don't
because
know
even though they got McCollum, they were still a playing team.
Right
now they're number one in the West.
I want to ask you guys this because we talked about.
That's a big level. Absolutely. That's a big level. You go from playing to number one in the West as soon as Zion's healthy. That's automatic MVP candidate. Automatic. You can't debate that.
I mean,
can't debate that.
Well, I mean, just look at his
this year, McCollum and Ingram were out, and he played, and they still won, and they were still part of that win streak. A lot of those games during that win streak didn't have Bi or McCollum. Zion was the catalyst, and of course, other guys stepped up because they have great depth.
Now, I want to ask you all a different question, but since Josh put this in, and for you guys on podcast, let me read it to you. Having effort guys like Herb and Alvarado are huge when it comes to playoff times.
Like as well. Don't sleep on that.
Jose Alvarado is like Jose Alvarado is like a better version of Patrick Beverly. I say better because he can play on both ends. Like, because I mean, obviously Alvarado, he's a better shooter than Pat Bev. I don't know if he's the defender that Pat Bev is, but for him to have that ability to play on both ends, I mean, we saw it last year in the playoffs. We saw him when he gave Chris Paul a lot of fits and everything. Yeah, we're seeing it a lot this year. I think he had like a 38-point game this year or something like that.
Can I just say that I don't like that guy?
Who?
Alvarado. Yeah, I don't know why. You remember? I don't like him.
Remember when Justin said on here, man? Come on, man. I think a lot of people don't like Chris Paul, man.
No, I love Chris Paul.
I know a lot of people that don't like Chris Paul. I know a lot of
people. Have you seen those clips of him throwing cheap shots at Alvarado?
Yes, I did see that.
Trying to hit him in his ribs. That's where he got hurt in his ribs. I mean,
yeah. But did we also see Alvarado getting held back or comforted by the Pelican mascot during the break? Yeah. Come on, guys. Did we see that?
Yeah, but what about, like I said, those cheap shots to me have more significance. You understand?
I agree with you.
Elbow to the face. What's up? Say if that hit him in the temple or something like that. What's going on? What are we talking about?
Saying that
talking about. I said, what if that elbow? That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's what I mean. So we gotta criticize. We gotta check dude on that. What's going on with that? That's not cool.
Oh, I feel you don't like Alvarado.
Absolutely no.
Yeah, I like Alvarado. He's from New York.
That's Josh absolutely.
He's a dog.
With me hating him. I feel like this is probably really the reason why I don't like the hype on him. The hiding in the corner, coming back and stealing from behind on that, that's playing peekaboo and getting a steal. That's not all to me. Does, you're right, but that's how he got a name. Let me come from behind and just steal this because you didn't know it was.
He got a name. He got a name by being ACC Defensive Player of the Year. Right. That's how he got a name.
Georgia Tech. Yeah.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I don't even know who he played for in college.
I mean, bro,
he played for Georgia Tech.
Yeah, he played for the Yellow Jackets.
Who actually beat Kentucky? So that's probably one reason why I don't like him then.
Oh man,
because I bet you he was on that team.
I didn't even know, but
yeah,
that's where it started. And then he's from, like I say, he's from New York. He's from Brooklyn. So he has that mentality off rip.
He got the New York grit.
It's time to go.
You need that, man.
New Orleans and New York is similar in that, if they embrace you, you're good forever. And then New York is the same way. You come here, you play well, you work hard. If you're an athlete for these big sports, they embrace you forever. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
New Orleans, the same vibe. So that connection, it was easy. It's easy. Mm-hmm. From that New York, New Orleans type connection. So yeah,
I don't know about
that.
Definitely
more.
Because I ain't gonna lie, y'all Knicks fans are a little mean, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Jalen Brunson was having a good year, and I guess he's had a bad few games. Now everybody hates Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, but those are not. But every fan base has subjective fans.
That's true.
Every fan base has subjective fans.
But I mean, it's also happened with Randall too.
I was curious to say, CJ, you don't like Randall.
They're just allowed. No, it's not that I don't like Randall. It's just that Randall was inconsistent. That's my problem. You go from second All-NBA team. You go from second All-NBA to 40, 30, 75 shooting splits. What am I supposed to say to that, bro? Am I supposed to just not you know what I mean? I'm just keeping it 1,000. Right. I just keep it 1,000, bro. That's all I do.
But that 1,000 then sometimes has been hey, we need him traded.
Yo, Nick's Twitter is brutal, yo. You don't want to get in that. Nick's Twitter, oh my goodness.
Listen, I'm exploring all options, man.
Josh, hold tight.
But this is really not about Randall or nothing I'm just saying that the fact of the matter is for the Pels. They're just going to be.
And I'm not saying that Alvarado is a bad player. I don't know why. It's just we all have some players that we don't like. Not saying that they're no good. Just for some reason, I've not grown fond of him yet.
If he played for Miami, you would like him, Michael.
I like the Pelicans. I've been saying all year that they're the team this year. Have I not? So you would think I would like him, right?
He stepped up in big moments in the playoffs, big time steals. You could say it's gimmicky, but it worked. He got it though. He got the steal.
Hey, I mean, yeah.
Yo, Josh, what's going on, my brother? I appreciate you, my guy.
I took that comment off there real quick.
What's good? My guy Josh was good. I know you saw 282. Okay, I'm gonna see what y'all chatting about tomorrow on Gen Z, man. Good to see you, my guy.
So, since we are talking with Josh here a little bit, and we've talked about the Pelicans, CJ, do you want to go ahead and get your clip from Instagram ready from what you put up there? And I'll go ahead and reshare Josh's lineup of what he had. He was a little bit early on what we're getting on our topic, but Josh put a comment on our YouTube channel which, guys, of course, it's the Unwrapped Sports Network YouTube channel. By all means, go follow those. You'll see everyone that's with the Unwrapped Sports Network shows are all followed through there. His top 5 that he's got listed here is Giannis, Steph, Luka, Zion, and AD. In his league right now is what he put on there. And, of course, on our Instagram at countthebucket_. CJ put a post up with his top 5 as of the ending of week 8, and I think he's about to bring it up now, I'm hoping. And we will go into discussing that now. And, of course, on that, as he gets a big gulp of water, the picture on there, and I'm saying it out loud just for our guys on podcast listening, he's got, I'm assuming, in order, correct?
Yes, this is in order.
Okay.
I got Jason Tatum, number 1. They're still playing like the best team in basketball, best record in the area. Yeah, they lost to the Warriors yesterday. They just happen to have their number. We're going to get into that game. We're going to get into that game in a little bit. But yeah, they just have their number, but it's okay. It's okay. They're still a great team. They just had some lapses defensively in that third quarter, ended that third quarter, going into that fourth quarter in that game. The game was really close up until those little lapses. They came back, they were down 5, and then they didn't lock in when they needed to lock in defensively. And you can't do that against Golden State. You lack, they make an extra pass. If Curry's open, GG's. So, but yeah, Tatum's still great, still playing great basketball. And he's the primary reason, him and Jaylen Brown are the primary reason as to why they have one of the best records in the NBA, why they're one of the best teams in the NBA. Number 2, Zion Williamson. Kind of really explained most of it in that first segment. We were talking about the Pelicans and the Suns. But again, just glad to see him healthy. They're on a 7-game win streak. How could you not put him in there? He's had multiple games of 30-plus points, 10 rebounds. He's getting steals, blocks. He's doing everything. And he's healthy. He's getting to that point. The free throw shooting is better, much better. He's working on that. He had a 3 tonight. That was a big-time 3 when they needed it. The game was close. He had a big-time 3. So, I mean, he just understands the moment. He's a big-time player, and he's going to be in this conversation for the rest of his career. Like I said earlier, that left hand is unstoppable. It's the new hook shot. You can't stop him. And he has a great team around him. So, great player plus great team. Get you on this list for me. Giannis Antetokounmpo at 3. Standard. He's going to be here. 1, 2, 3. We're averaging 30 and 12 plus, 11 plus rebounds, and then around 5, 6 assists with the blocks, with the steals, what he does defensively for his team every single night, the scoring, the hustle, the effort. You gotta have Giannis. I have Giannis 3rd. Luka had a great week. The Mavs had a really good week. They had 3 wins this week. And Luka was a big part of that. Making big-time shots, got a big-time W against the Nuggets. They got that L against the Bucks on Friday. But outside of that, they had a really good week. That's why I put Giannis above Luka right there. For that reason, I just felt like, Giannis did a great job. Luka did too, but you're just going to have it there. And then Ja is in my 5. First time Ja's in my top 5. They're on a 5-6 game win streak, I believe, 5-game win streak. They're playing great basketball. He's diamond. He's scoring. He's doing everything possible when he's healthy. What he does for this squad, what he does for this team. They're one of the best teams in the league, in the Western Conference. That's going to be the constant. And when he's there, he's going to be in this discussion as well. So this is the list, and there's nothing but Nike and Jordan brand on this list. Jordan got Zion, Tatum, and Luka signed. Jordan, man, he's smart, bro. He's so smart. Wow. You give all of them signature sneakers, it's over.
Absolutely.
Jordan was smart. He was smart signing those 3. He signed them like 2 years ago too, so he just knew. He knew. Crazy.
How about you, Nick? What do you think of his top 5? You got any arguments? Any change in it? Any surprises?
I don't have any arguments, but I think I'm just getting to the point where it's like, honestly, nobody's MVP list is wrong. There's just too many guys that's just really getting buckets. Like, for example, Joel Embiid, he had 40 against the Lakers on Friday, and then he had 53 tonight against Charlotte. So it's like, I know a lot of people might be trying to creep him into that MVP list, so it's like there's really no wrong answers. But as far as for CJ's list, I mean, I've been saying it for the past few weeks. Tatum's number one. Tatum's number one without question. You know, Boston has been the best team in the league. No, Steph's not an MVP candidate right now. At least the Warriors still got to find their rhythm. They still got to establish themselves. Even though Steph has been great, but Tatum.
This is from the Warrior right now. This is from the Warrior fan, Josh. So
I'm just saying. But no, I mean Tatum is definitely number one in my eyes. You know, he's been playing exceptional basketball. I know people still criticize him because of how he played in the finals last year, but I feel like to a degree he's been able to overcome that. He's been the X factor for Boston this year. Zion being number two. I mean, we mentioned it. I mean, Zion's just Zion. You know, there's nobody in the league that can guard him. He's been playing exceptional basketball, shooting at a very efficient level. Giannis is always going to be up there just because, you know, everything that he brings to the game as far as being an energizer. Luka, continue to do him. Luka needs help. I mean, I think honestly, like if Luka really had enough help, I think Dallas would definitely be in a better position, and he'll probably be at least top 2 or 3 in the MVP list. But that's neither here nor there. I mean, just with the talent, and then Ja's continuing to do his thing as well. The Grizzlies are finally back winning. I think they fell into like a little small slump for a little bit in the season, but I think they're finally getting back on track now. Everybody's getting healthy, so can't argue at this list, man. I mean, we all know that it fluctuates, but these 5, I can definitely agree with CJ. They've probably been the best players over the recent week.
Yeah. Now I won't say 1 through 5 is the good or bad or wrong on that. I've had people talk to me and say that AD should have been on that list. I'm like, I mean, he didn't play all week, so how could he be on this when it's the
and then the Lakers going through something. They lost 2 in a row.
I appreciate.
Three in a row. Actually, 3 in a row.
I appreciate you guys so much, man. You guys' IQ is so high, bro. Oh man, talking about Albert AD. How can AD be on this league? He didn't even play this week.
Right. So here's where I come at anymore, guys. Like everyone has their own opinion. To say that someone's wrong or right, I mean, everyone's going to be different. If I made my own list, I actually probably would have had Zion maybe 3 or 4, just because he's still. I'm holding back. His numbers are great, but I want to see him stay healthy. I guess I'm reserving him a bit.
That's not how you can't do lists like that, though, bro.
I agree. Especially when we're basically doing it week to week.
Yeah.
But I would rather had Tatum, Giannis, probably Zion, Luka, and Ja with you there.
Right.
Now, am I saying you're right or wrong? Absolutely not. I mean, who cares on that? It's still the top 5.
All objective facts.
So
that's subjective.
That's the thing. That's why I think it's so fun that we do this, because we get so many different arguments on here. Like Josh coming in here and saying that Tatum's 6 to him. He gets why that we have him on 1, but for him, he's not even top 5.
6?
Josh, like, yeah, this is top 5 through this week. That's the way we're doing it. Like, through this week, but, you know, as they play in this week, right? That's how you're kind of doing it, like, through week 8, right?
You have 5 players better than Jason Tatum right now?
Yo, bro, Josh, write your reasoning down, bro. I want to see it.
I mean, we all entitled to our own opinion. I get it.
Go ahead and jump on here with us and talk.
No, you jump on ahead if you want
5 players?
You can pull up, bro. Talk about it, bro. I want to hear it.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing. You know, if he's not your number 1, then that's cool. But it's like, yo, like
it's good discussion. See
absolutely.
Where everybody stand.
Because, I mean,
personally, I disagree. But I feel like you're the best player on the best team.
You make his list?
Let's see here. I want to go to, what is it, Basketball Reference, where everybody usually use?
Yeah, I use reference.
Only for stats.
Yeah. Because, I mean, to say he's top 5, I mean, to tell you his numbers, I don't really know what all he's done this year as far as stat.
It can't be numbers, you know what I'm saying? It's got to be impact as well. Like, team success plays a role. And the Celtics have the best record in the league.
Yeah, like, what?
But I still think his numbers are going to be good. Like, I mean, he is Boston, really. Let's see here. He's shooting 47%. Let's see here. Oh, got a pop-up coming up. 85 from free throw. He's getting 8.1 rebounds, 4 assists a game, 1.1 steal, 1 block a game. only 2.5 or 2.7 turnovers a game and 30 points. So, I mean, 30 points per game, 8 rebounds a game.
30 games starting to come easy for this new NBA. I ain't gonna lie.
What's he shooting from three?
From 3-point, he is shooting 36%.
All right, so that's around like league average. So he's 47,
Those great numbers.
47, 85, 36, 38, and 4 on the best team in the NBA. To me, that got to be number one, brother. But like I said, let me sure to see your list and explain, man. I want to hear it. I want to see it.
And just because, again, we can get all caught up in arguing. I don't know what I just said about who is supposed to be on this, who's not. Tatum's team is number one. Now, obviously, the number one team in the West now is the Pelicans. Is the number two. Your number two guy. So, it makes sense on that because everything with success on MVP is usually your number one team. So,
isn't the goal to win? So I gotta take into account, and they're playing well, and the team is winning.
Mm-hmm.
Best team in the A, best record in the West.
Mm-hmm.
If I feel like if they're not the top two, I don't know.
Josh, are you typing a book to us here, or what? We don't really know what's going on, so we're kind of lagging a little bit because I don't want to go on to a different topic if you are addressing this.
Don't in the light.
While we wait to see if he is responding, I kind of want to just ask a quick question and kind of something that Nick mentioned while we were talking about the Pelicans and Suns game about head coaches as far as like coach of the year. Who do you all think are coach of the year candidates real quick? Just, we don't have to go into it deep in case he does drop this comment in real quick. Because I may have someone who surprises you all a little bit.
So I already mentioned two. I mentioned Boston.
Now, don't mention a bunch so we don't have an answer.
I'm going to give you three. I mentioned Boston's head coach. I mentioned New Orleans head coach Willie Green. Number three.
If you think one of those two that you've already mentioned is going to win, that's fine.
It's still early. I can't really give you like a prediction as far as who's going to win, but I think number three may have to be. I like Chauncey Billups this year. I like what he's in. I know that Portland's kind of had an up and down year, but for the most part, they've been pretty impressive.
Yeah, Missoula, obviously, Willie Green, like Nick just said. Mike Brown. I know they took the L to the Knicks.
Mike Brown, yes.
The Kings doing a good job with the Kings, despite the L tonight. But Chauncey for sure. Will Hardy, Utah.
Will Hardy, yeah.
They take a step back, but they still battle. They're still battling. Taylor Jenkins is going to be in there, but I feel like right now it got to be Willie Green. Jacques Vaughn, yeah.
Jacques Vaughn's been great. He's been really good. Brooklyn's turned their season around somewhat.
Yeah, that's had the coaching. That was.
We both been saying that. Like we've been saying, Steve Nash got to go for like the longest.
Yeah, man, it had to go. He was like, "Oh, it's not Nash."
Well, you saw them last time against Indiana. Like, who didn't play? KD, Kyrie didn't play. A lot of these guys didn't play, and the second unit just balled out. Cam Thomas, the rest of these guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. KD could get on here soon too. He's playing good basketball.
Averaging 30.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was reading Josh's comment. But I'm with Brown. What he's doing with the Kings as far as where they were last year to now, I think he is a front runner for me at least. Of course, the other teams are.
You better not say Spo.
No. Brown's not big. Because, Boston was already good last year. Granted, they went through a crazy amount of turmoil, I'll say, as during the offseason.
But y'all got to think, this is Missoula's first year as a coach, too. So this really impressive.
I know, but it's still.
Zero head coaching experience. Zero.
I agree, but still, like, I'm going to use my career for example.
No, come on, bro. Don't use that anybody could have been the coach and they still would have had the same record. Please don't use that narrative.
I'm not going to say that.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Woo!
I'm not going to say that.
Oh, man, that's like
I'm just going to say
2 decades
that
old.
I have zero experience in general manager position, But the team that I have been there already and been doing this. Like I've got people at at Advance that I'm working at now that have been there for 10 and 13 years. Why they didn't apply for the job, I'm not really for sure. But they already know what they're doing, and I'm just going in being the guy. Now,
but you still have responsibilities.
I still have responsibilities to figure out and make sure they follow and respect me.
Right, exactly.
So there's things there.
Exactly. So you can't just say, yeah, you could put anybody on the Celtics and they would have they had the same. No, you can't. Because why? Because Brad Stevens didn't have the same record that Ime Udoka had. Right. And Ime Udoka didn't have the same record Joe Mazzulla had to start the season. So when you're presenting that to me, what am I supposed to say?
I mean, I'm with you to an extent on there. So that's why I think Mike Brown, who took the Kings, who had nothing. I mean, let's be honest. This is the team that really weren't very good last year. They didn't really change too much. I mean, they
ain't been good in like probably 20 years.
And they're what, 4th or 5th, maybe 6th in the West right now.
Yeah.
So
I'm talking
about the Kings.
So
Kings.
Yeah, the Kings.
That discrepancy between like 4th and 12th is really like 2 games. It's so close right now, and that's in both conferences. It's the parity is insane right now in the NBA.
So let's see here. I don't pull up the comment of Josh here. I was listening to us and moving up in the rank. Huge Tatum guy. Steph had that supporting. Guess I think over Tatum. He's hooping for real, and we can agree to disagree.
That's got a good supporting cast.
So what happened?
I was saying Steph got a good supporting cast. I mean, I know
they're a veteran team. They kind of, right now they're because look at their road record was so bad. It was like, what was going on at the start of the season?
Yeah, I think we only won like 2 road games. I think.
Yeah, that was
something
crazy.
like that.
Yeah, that was crazy. But
that's also Kerr's fault. That's also Kerr's fault because Kerr decides to rest all the starters in like good road games and like big road games. Like, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Very good. You're good. My bad. You're good.
No, I mean what I was saying was that Kerr decides to rest a lot of our starters in big road games. Like for example, like we played in New Orleans twice. Steph, Draymond, Clay didn't play. One of the games we lost by 45 points. And then there was a few other games as well. Like even Steph and Andrew Wiggins didn't play in the game against Steph, Andrew Wiggins, and Draymond didn't play in the Utah game. We ended up losing that one, which we should have won that one. I don't know how we lost that one, but a lot of these big road games for some reason, I don't know. I guess Kerr just wants to sit out the guys, so that's why our record on the road looks like the way that it is. At home, we're great. I think we've only lost probably 1 or 2 games at home, but on the road, hasn't really been the same thing.
Marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah. But now, Josh, I want to kind of come at you a little bit on this. You're talking about here on this comment that I already brought up, but you're saying you're not hating on Tatum with it, which is respectful, but you've not seen him in a bad situation where it's just him, which is a good thing, you're saying, where he's just basically the only star separating himself. I mean, to me, as far as Boston, the only superstars on that team is him and Brown. I mean, the other guys are just really good role players, I would say. They're great players, but they're really great role players. Now, on your list that you talked about in your comment earlier, you had Steph and AD that I would have to say that have very good other players on their teams where they've never really been just the guy. AD this year has been without LeBron some games when he excelled quite a bit of the stats, but let's be honest, AD has a LeBron and Russell Westbrook on his team, which I think would be technically better superstars than anyone actually has. Wouldn't you guys agree with me by saying that?
To me, I don't care about supporting cast. Like if you're the guy that's leading the charge and your team's winning, I think you should be an MVP list, regardless of who you have.
Right. Yeah, from a superstar standpoint, yeah, you would say the Lakers, but that doesn't really mean anything in today's NBA. You need a team. You need depth around.
I'm talking about this year.
Yeah, I know.
Well, no, I was
his comment said AD has carried the team to the playoffs.
You said AD?
Yeah, AD has carried the team to the playoffs. So, I mean, you can't go with what he has done.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why, I think sometimes we kind of, intertwine that. Mm-hmm. And I just go by how they're playing this week. And that that's all you could do. I mean, if you think about stuff in the past, then I feel like you're not doing what you're supposed. You're not doing what the list talks about. You got to stay in the present.
Mm-hmm. Now, see, this is to me where MVP gets tricky. Josh says here again for you podcasters, excuse me, but if you're counting team success with how good a player or the player is, doesn't the supporting cast matter?
Yeah,
see,
of course,
that's
man.
why,
It's all great.
Definitely.
If you win a championship, it's a great player on a great team, bro. Every time.
right.
So yeah, supporting cast always matters. I don't discredit supporting cast. Yeah, of course, there's going to be some times where guys are out. Yeah, this is for this week. Yeah, it's for this week, bro. There's gonna be guys that's gonna be out throughout the season, and yeah, guys got to step up and score 35, 40 to really bring it home for the squad. Of course, all the time. It happens all the time. That's what they're paid to do. So I would expect nothing less.
Here we go. Team stats.
Team stats. What about them?
I think this is where Perry's going to say championships don't matter because it goes with the Michael Jordan instead of LeBron because it's team stats instead of individual for him. But I don't know. Perry may not be going there.
Yeah, but every time LeBron won a championship, he was on a great team.
I agree.
The best player.
Yeah, on the best team. So, I mean, I don't even know why I just feel like that debate, I don't even get into it because it makes no sense.
It's such a crazy debate, though. Like, especially when people talk about, oh, this guy played with this guy. It's like, you gotta have good teammates to win, yo. Like, you can't play with scrubs and expect to keep winning championships. Now, if you do, that's impressive. But every great player needs to have great role players around them. That's been going on since the beginning of time.
Every time. So yeah. So when I see Tatum, I see okay, look, they were the number one team in the, in the East, and they have the best record. And he's averaging 38 and 4. But yeah, like I said, everybody's list could be different.
I mean, honestly, we're seeing the same thing with Luka right now. Luka's putting up phenomenal numbers, and Dallas has had some success over the last few games, but they're still not really a real contender to me.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
So, do you guys want to move on over to the most improved player of the weeks or of the week? I guess players improved of the week. Okay. So here's my post that I made while I was at work or in the middle of work. So for my top 5, I've got SGA. There you go, Josh. He's finally on there. Halliburton, and then I've got Laurie down there, and then Bol, who dropped a little bit on my list, and then I added Simon as well. I'm a terrible listener. He put on. Mike's trying to be a little bit slow. Has that comment come up yet? There we go, Mitch.
I see it.
Yeah, I see it now, yeah.
My internet apparently is going out on me. I apologize. You guys are lagging, but I know it's me technically.
Yeah.
You're good.
You're good, man.
Not a bad list.
Okay. Can you guys hear me?
Not a bad list.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah,
don't you dare say it like that.
What do you mean? Hang on. Let me finish. Not a bad list. I don't know. I don't really view Shea as a most improved type candidate. He's been doing this for a long time, so it is your list, but besides that, the other guys are great. Tyrese Halliburton continues to improve. The Pacers are a really good team, and he's been the leading factor in their success. Very really improving as far as his offensive game, and then of course we all know that his playmaking is great as well. Anthony Simons playing right next to Dame Lillard, almost like another CJ McCollum to me, being able to play well off the ball and be able to score at an elite level. Another, we mentioned that he had a bad game against Denver, but besides that, he's had a pretty solid season. We already know what Bobo's capable of. We mentioned him last week. And he's continuing to play well. And then also Larry Markkinen, who in my eyes probably is number one just because of how he's really transcended that Utah team and how I know that Utah's kind of dropped a little bit, but they're still a pretty solid team to me. So overall, the list is great.
That's right. You better put that grade in there.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the list as well. I'm a really big fan of Halliburton, what he's doing right now in terms of really being the floor general of that Pacers squad. Marketing, just showing again, it's you write your story. You write your story, and that's the key for him in terms of not thinking, okay, Chicago didn't work out. This did it with Cleveland, go to Cleveland. Then you go to Utah, keeping that same aggressive mindset, still having other goals, continuing to complete your goals, and he's doing a great job in Utah. Whatever happens in the future, it's because he earned it and put himself in that space. No one forced him to do it. He did it because of how he played. So definitely happy for him. Bobo playing well, getting an opportunity. That's what it's about. A lot of these guys getting an opportunity. When you get an opportunity, you could go out there and play well, and that's what he's doing right now. He's stepping up, putting 20 points here and there. They got Banchero, they got Wagner. Those are the draft picks. So obviously, they're going to get the ball a little bit more. That's just the politics of it. But when he does get his opportunities, he makes the most of it, and it's just great to see him playing well still. And Anthony Simons also is a great young player. Got the extension, well deserved. And when Dame got healthy, they're definitely a formidable backcourt. Shaden Sharp's going to continue to develop. Jeremy Grant is a great third option for any team. You got to appreciate what the Blazers did. That was an aggressive move. They believed in Dame and Simons and felt like they needed a third option. They got that with Grant. Grant could get you 40, he could get you 30, he could get you 18 and 10, 20 and 12. He has that type of ability, that type of athleticism. So with those three guys, it's going to be a factor. And as Simons' development is him continuing to grow, it's going to play a factor. So it's a great list, man.
Now, see, I already said that Bol has dropped a little bit on my list. I'll get into a little bit of stats here in a second. I was going to say, and I'm holding on Josh's comment because I want to say it here, like I'm kind of starting to watch Kessler a little bit as far as adding him to, because he's been playing a little bit well here lately. I don't know if
he consider him most improved. I mean, it's his first year.
I agree, but I'm just saying, like, I mean, he's been playing well, but I mean, the reason why I wanted to say that and put this is because his comment is, honestly, the Jazz should get the most improved player. I mean, the Jazz really have been playing. The past 2 years.
I would say the Kings more so because the Jazz were actually in the playoffs the last few years. The Kings.
Yeah, but I mean, I get what he's saying, though. I mean, Utah lost their two best players from last year.
Yeah, they lost the two best players, but nobody thought the Kings would be this right now. Nobody.
Right.
That's most improved to me. That's most improved.
Or the Pacers.
Right.
So, yeah. Same. Yeah.
Now, also this comment here, do we have a Rookie of the Year rankings?
We're gonna get that for week 9.
We gotta get that, but I'm just gonna be honest. Like Paulo's running away with it. I'm just gonna be honest here. Like Paulo's running away with it. I mean, no disrespect to the other guys, because I like what I've seen from Benedict Mathurin. I like what I've seen from Jaden Ivey, Keegan Murray from out there in Sacramento. So I love what I've been seeing from those guys. In my opinion, Jabari Smith has actually picked up his game. He struggled at the beginning of the year, but I think he's starting to really pick up his game over the last recent weeks. But I think right now you got to go Paulo. Paulo's number one.
I'm pretty sure you could probably do a Rookie of the Year for next year already and name the winner. Might be getting ahead of myself a little bit.
Well, I mean, look, I don't know. I mean, a lot of guys wanted Chet to win. Chet, unfortunately, not playing. He got injured in off season. Yeah, not saying that I'm wishing that on Victor.
That's gonna be an interesting Rookie of the Year battle between Chet and Wembanyama next year.
That will be nice. That would be nice. But let me just kind of
especially if Wembanyama go to like the Spurs OKC rivalry again.
I need that. I need that.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Now that Wembanyama silver and black would definitely be tough. That jersey would be tough.
I think it should happen.
That Spurs jersey will be hard for sure. Definitely with the one, perfect. It's perfect.
I think it should happen.
They're selling. I mean, they're tanking. They're tanking right now.
So just real quick on this, as far as last week, for just the week, Bol only averaged 11.4 points a game, 1.8 assists with 5.8 rebounds. I say only. That dipped down a little bit. His overall, he's averaging I think 12.5 points after the week. He's still shooting well for a big man of his size. So I think 65% roughly, 40% from three-point, which is wonderful for his size. And then let me kind of scroll down. Simon, I think over the week, he points game, 4.5 assists, 0.0 rebounds. For the last week, he actually upped his points per game at 29.8, which is basically 30 points a game. And let's see here. I got a popped up here. 5.5 assists and 2.3. So that's why he jumped onto my list. I have a feeling he may keep climbing on this the way he's playing right now. And let's see.
Who's that?
Laurie or marketing, as you guys also say, last week he was averaging 25 points per game, 2 assists, and 9.3 rebounds over last week. Now, overall, he actually is lower than all those numbers. He's 22.2 points and 2 assists and 8.5 rebounds. So everyone has really upped on the list there. Let me go to Halliburton's real quick. Last week, his numbers actually did dip a little bit, but I'm not holding it to him. He only averaged 15.5 points per game, 9.8 assists, and 5.5 points compared to his usual 20 points, 10 assists, and 4.7 rebounds. Now, he's over the whole season, I feel, played so well, so I have him up there. Now, Shea's points last week was 32 points per game, 5 assists, and 3.5 rebounds over the whole season, 31.6 rebounds. 6 assists and 4.8 rebounds. I just feel that most people have Shea winning this, and I totally agree with Josh as well. As I rambled through those really quick, it's hard for me to say that SGA is MIP when he's been doing this for quite a while as well. I just feel like his numbers has improved more, and I actually think Chet and Gibbs has OKC more visible for more NBA fans, and we're seeing SGA play more is why he's on a lot of people's lists as far as being MIPs. So that's why I think we have to put him on the list, because he's the best player that they're considering. So that's why I've got him there. How's that sound?
It's your list.
Don't see when you say that, it makes me feel like my
list
is crap.
It's not crap.
It's crap.
It's not.
It's phenomenal.
Oh man. But hey, I mean, you know what? We should do that. We should do it like a rookie radar or whatever.
That would be good. How about you do that, Nick? Yeah,
I got
Nick,
it.
why don't you do it?
I got it. I got some ideas.
All right, sounds good. So, with that being said, I will remove my screen from here, and then I will say that, since we guys are doing so good, I will.
Golly, it's already been an hour?
Yeah, it's already
been an hour. It doesn't even feel like it.
Jeez. Let's see here. We've kind of hit most of our topics. One thing we want to talk about is the Grizzlies. They keep on winning. Kind of like what we do here on this podcast and this live stream. No matter what we talk about, we just keep on winning.
Yeah.
No.
It's good. It's good.
No. So let me see if I can pull up the record. Do you want to talk about them some while I get that pulled up?
I mean, we all expected this. I mean, they have a phenomenal coach in Taylor Jenkins. They have a superstar in John Morant, but then also, I mean, we always talk about the production of or the depth of the Pelicans and all the supporting cast that Zion has. Ja has the same thing. I mean, Desmond Bane is out there. You still got guys like Jaren Jackson Jr. And a whole bunch of other guys, Steven Adams and those guys. So the Grizzlies are another one of those teams that you got to keep an eye on. And the West has been really, really interesting to me because, like I keep mentioning, it's like nobody has really established themselves besides the Pelicans. So I think Memphis is finally starting to hit that stride. They've had a good recent week, so they may be that next team that might be really climbing the charts. So everybody needs to keep a good lookout for them.
I've about got it brought up here, at least their schedule, because I know they've went on a streak here. I'm going to try to see if we can
Yeah, I got the schedule up
look
already,
at the
man.
past. Oh,
Yeah.
why am I even trying?
You're good, man. You're good. Grizzlies are playing phenomenal basketball. This is what we expect. They have great chemistry. You just plug anybody into their system, they're going to excel. They have a great system. They bought into Taylor Jenkins' style of play and scheme. Starts with Ja, obviously being the best player on that team, MVP candidate, as we just saw on my list. So you know the success is going to follow. Have great guys around him. Baines out. You got guys like Brooks, Jaren Jackson Jr., Steven Adams. I talked about last week the importance of Steven Adams for Ja Morant in terms of getting into the paint and his impact. They have a bunch of guys just come in there, step up, make big time plays, and that's why they're going to be the Tyus Jones off the bench, one of the best backup point guards in the NBA, if not the best backup point guard in the NBA. Just solid all around. Zaire Williams, they're going to be great.
Zaire.
They're going to be great. I really want to see a Western Conference Finals with the Pelicans and the Grizzlies. That's going to be a phenomenal series.
Did you say Pelicans and Suns? Oh, okay. That'd be great.
Nah,
Yes.
I don't think so, brother.
Frauds.
Frauds.
I mean, listen. I don't really understand the Suns hate that much, because again, we were just championing them and how bad they were, and then they went 8-0, and now they're a powerhouse in the Western Conference. So I mean, yeah, they did sell last year against the
Powerhouse. Who said that?
They won 64 games last year, bro. Come on, 64-18.
Thank you, CJ, for calling him out on that comment. I appreciate you.
Like,
Right.
we
just keep it 1,000 over here.
hang on a minute. We talking about powerhouse. Like, I don't think a lot of us saw them being better than Golden State last year, even though they did have the best record.
So 2 years ago, they went to the finals.
Yes, I will give you that.
And the year after, they won 64 games, and now they're like what, top 5 in the West? Powerhouse, bro.
Yeah, but I think
over the last 3 years, they've been one of the best teams in the West. Yes, Golden State's up.
They have. I'll give you that. But like when you talk about powerhouse, I'm looking at like this is the team to beat. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I never view the Suns as like that team. I mean, they had that potential when they got to the finals, and then of course we all know what happened last year. So it was like when I'm thinking about powerhouse, like I'm thinking about the Warriors with KD and those guys. Like, that was a powerhouse. Like, that team was unbeatable.
Okay,
the Suns.
So your definition. Yeah, my definition of powerhouse is just I see your definition. Okay, now I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me it was just sustained success over a long period of time.
I get
that. Something igniting a team and then becoming successful the year after rather quickly when people did expect it, but not this fast.
I see what you mean.
So yeah, I would still put them in that category. But yeah, but honestly, I'd rather see Pelicans than the Grizzlies. I want to see two excellent young players and Ja and Zion go at it.
That would be a great series.
I would take the Pels.
Pelicans, hands down, for sure. I even take Pelicans over the Suns.
Wait. In a 7-game series, y'all picking Pelicans?
Listen, how many times we got to talk to you about this, dude?
Taking Pelicans over y'all too, bro.
Hang on a minute, bro.
This is where CJ's going to say.
CJ's getting a little too bold, man.
No, he's not. He's going to look at you and say, Nick, name that closing lineup for the Grizzlies.
Who's guarding Steph Curry?
Oh, looky here. For you podcast fans, CJ now has busted out.
Who's guarding Steph Curry?
On jersey.
Alvarado, unless you start Alvarado in that series, who's containing Steph?
Let's talk closing lineups, bro.
See,
all right, closing lineups.
Told you it's
all right, we're gonna go Golden State. We're gonna go obviously Steph, Clay, Jordan Poole. Gonna run that small ball. Draymond, and then I guess Looney. Possibly.
No Wiggins.
Wiggins. Sorry. Okay. Oh, dang, that's tough. Okay. So Wiggins and then Draymond at the 5. So we're gonna run a small lineup.
Small
CJ
lineup with Valanciunas and
is Valanciunas gonna be in the closing lineup?
Hold on. CJ.
Even Nance was good.
CJ, Herb Jones, BI, Zion. I would say for Golden State, Nance. But Valanciunas should be able to eat in the paint and be aggressive in that series, get rebounds, get offensive rebounds, use his size. He would have to outbeat Looney on offensive boards. He'd have to outplay Looney. And in those minutes that they're going to play together, because Kerr's going to put Looney in, Valanciunas is out there, he has to outplay Looney on the board, scoring, everything. If they do that and they do that closing lineup with Nance at the 5, because they can switch on everything just like Golden State be able to switch on everything, I would take New Orleans. Because again,
I would say Nance will be in if they're losing.
Draymond on Zion, it's an interesting battle, but
so no Zion at the 5 in the closing lineup. You don't think?
No, there's no need for that. You got Nance, you got Valanciunas if need be. There's no need to put Zion at the 5. Play the 4, him and Draymond. You're gonna get Draymond in foul trouble, and then whoever y'all got to back up power forward. Good, man.
Lots out.
I don't know, but
man, good luck.
Disrespect to the team.
I'm not saying it's gonna be easy, but Pels in 6.
6? Okay. I'm still thinking Warriors all day. Even though this is the team, I'll be real. This is my team. I'll just be honest when I say this. I don't think the Warriors are going to repeat this year. I don't think it's going to happen. But
no, because the Pelicans will come out.
It's going to be who's the healthiest team. You know this, bro.
That's true. That's true.
Wait a second. I have to ask this though. So if you don't think the Warriors are going to repeat, who's putting them out then? If you don't, I mean, if you think the Pelicans are not going to beat them,
I don't think the Pels will. I don't think they will. If they were to meet in the playoffs, I don't think they would. I think the Warriors, you got to think I mean, look, we know what the Pelicans did against Phoenix. Yes, that. I mean, that's definitely very, very impressive. Was that?
Of course,
y'all don't have no one that could guard Bi or Zion.
I think. Okay, so Clay isn't the defender that he once was. We can all agree to that. But I still feel like his defense to a degree is still very effective. And he can at least contain. I'm not going to say stop BI. Because I think BI could still get buckets probably on occasion. But I think Clay could have a really good – I think that would be a good matchup.
If Willie Green puts Zion in the post instead of coming from the three-point line, it's going to be tough for y'all.
Well, y'all on this Pelicans hype train, man. I love New Orleans.
I mean, it's just the way they play. They play like a team, and they got.
No, that's true. I'll give you that.
And they have great young players. They play great defense. They pass. They move the ball. They cut. They have motion offense. It's a fun team to watch. And then when you add Zion, with his ability, his effort, what he brings to the table, every single night,
they're just great.
So for the Grizzlies, what I say in 6 or 7 Pelicans.
I would say a 7-game series because the Grizzlies have that same type of depth. They have the experience that the Pels are still reaching. They're still a little bit higher than that in terms of experience. But we saw back in the bubble days when the Pels had that different team with Zoe and Drew, they were beating that Grizzly team pretty badly. I remember in that bubble time.
I remember.
You remember, yeah. So now this is a better team than that team when they had Drew and Lonzo. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's not cool. It's not right to do that type of mix and match and puzzles. But they have a better coach now. Can we agree on that? A much better.
Definitely.
Gundy, Willie Green, night and day, right?
Alvin Gentry was a bad coach too. I'm sorry, he wasn't the right coach for them.
He was okay. Yeah, he was okay. He just wasn't the right coach. Exactly, he wasn't the right coach for them. That's exactly what it is. But either way, it still worked out for them. And David Griffin's not afraid to get rid of coaches. He got rid of Van Gundy in 1 year, then got Willie Green. Yo, if you're not the guy for us, I'm not going to stay here for 3 years. I'm going to come off you because honestly, my job's on the line too. It's smart. Figure it out. And they figured it out. They're playing well. Grizzlies figured it out too. Lionel Hollins won a lot of basketball games for the Grizzlies back in the day. When they were grit and grind, he won a lot of multiple 50-win seasons. People forget about Lionel Hollins. Underrated.
Very underrated.
Solid head coach. Definitely during the 2010s. During the 2010s, he was definitely up there. Him, Rudy Gay, OJ, what they were doing.
Conley and those guys.
Conley, Gasol, Zebo. Absolutely.
Tony Allen.
Josh Shelby out of Kansas. It's just dogs, man. Just dogs. They had a really good team. They upset the Spurs, and they kept that identity even in bringing in Ja. And they rebuild so quick. It wasn't even a real rebuild.
It wasn't.
They were bad.
Because what year did Gasol and Conley leave? Like 2018, 19? So it was probably like a year turnaround?
Yeah.
A year or two turnaround.
I mean, as soon as they got Ja, they started winning again. It was easy. It was easy, straight like that.
That front office don't get no props.
No, yeah, they don't. They don't. They deserve a lot of props. They've done
I feel
great
like
job.
Ja was year 19, wasn't he?
Ja
came in 19, right with Zion.
Yeah.
So I guess Conley would have been, left probably 17, 18?
It might have been 19 because Gasol got traded to Toronto and they won the chip that year. I think.
That was 2018, 2019. Okay. Yeah, 2018, 2019 season. That's yeah, but
anyways, the Grizzlies.
They kept the same idea. They kept the same. Yeah, we're still talking about the Grizzlies. They kept the same identity.
Honestly, looking at that matchup, honestly, like.
And we say like Matt.
So, like, what matchup would we be interested in that series? Like,
you said what matchup for them in the playoffs?
Yeah, as far as with both teams, like, what particular players is y'all see having a good matchup? Like, could we see Zion? Like, I like me personally, I could see Bane guarding Zion a little bit throughout that series.
You gotta put Jaren Jackson Jr. on him, bro.
Jaren Jackson. I mean, I get that too.
That's his calling card, right? He has to accept that challenge. He has to accept that challenge, win or lose. That's his job.
Lose or lose.
Hey, listen. He still got to go out there and work hard and make Zion work on defense too.
I'm okay.
It's not just a one-way street. You said what happened?
I said I'm okay with Bane guarding him some too. I do think Bane's a little physical. Now
Bane has a little size too. That's the thing. Like, Zion, if you guard Zion, you got to have size.
He's gonna get in foul trouble.
I mean, everyone.
Zion a freaking nature, dog. Nobody guard this man.
Yeah, but I don't want my perimeter players getting in foul trouble that quick, especially when we know Ja, who has improved from the outside, is still more of a slasher. So you still need some spacing. And if one of your best spacers in foul trouble, that changes everything from terms of scheme, adjustments, everything.
What's crazy is, Memphis has been playing great. And we're talking about this, as far as them streaking and how well they've been playing and all this. And we're still relaying back to how well the Pelicans are. And we haven't even really talked at all about the Nuggets and how they've been playing too, which, even in our notes, which we may not even get to since we're an hour and 15 minutes into about their classic game that they had with Murray hitting the game-winning three to win the game, obviously.
Yeah, to win the game.
I mean,
Thursday night.
Even the Nuggets are a team.
Health is still a big question for Denver, though, for me.
Of course.
Because Michael Porter Jr. still has missed a good lump sum of games.
Yeah,
and he's really their third option.
He was out in that game, against the Blazers.
So, to me right now, the East is looking like Boston to me.
Yeah. Boston and Milwaukee is 1 and 2.
Yeah, I'll say that.
Listen,
Milwaukee could still. But the West, the West is really could be 3, 4, maybe even 5 teams coming out of the West that could be in this the NBA Finals representing.
That's what I've been saying. The West, nobody's really established themselves. New Orleans has to a degree now. Memphis is starting to, but all the other teams, like the real contenders, they haven't really found that mark yet. Even Golden State, who has won a few games, but they're still trying to figure themselves out. So
we're 8 weeks in. I think everyone's starting we're seeing who's who now. I think
we've only played 25 games. We have another 60 games to go.
I agree, but we're 8 weeks in. I think that we're going to start to see the separation we are is going to start gaining more. Is what I mean.
The NBA really doesn't get interesting until MLK Day, in my opinion.
Of course, the All-Star break, February. That's really when you see, okay, yeah, this team's not coming back or something like that. But I feel like after, I'll hold back. We are 8 weeks, but I do feel like the Pelicans are going to be the top contender now in the West as far as by the end of the season. Now, when it comes to playoffs, can they be upset? Absolutely, but. But I just want to back up, and I want to hear what you was about to say, CJ, because when I said the Boston and just the Bucks in the East, I feel like you was going to say something to that effect of someone else. What you got there?
Gotta still talk about the Nets. Let's not forget.
The Nets have been playing better, I'll give you that, but I still don't have them over Milwaukee or Boston. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, no, I hear you. Different coach. Different
That's
coach.
true. It's a big difference.
They have better players now. TJ Warren's healthy. He's back. He's playing solid basketball.
Not me, Perry. Not me. I mean, I am, but I'm not on the train as crazy as y'all are.
CJ, Nick is like a chameleon when it comes to this Pelican talk. When they're good, and we're talking about it, oh man, I've been saying Pelicans good. As soon as that other person says Pelicans, man, you're all about it, man. I ain't been like that, you know. I ain't been saying they're all great. Like Perry, these guys are crazy. He's back and forth with this. Are you with this or are you not, Nick? We need to know where you stand with this Pelican team right now.
I like the Pelicans. I like them. Now, I'll admit, I'm not as high on the Pelicans as you guys are. I think that they could be a real threat in the playoffs. I could definitely say that, but I don't know. It's still up in the air for me whether I could pick this team as the team making it out of the West.
Now, let me ask you a follow-up question, then we'll get to the East a little bit here. Name me a better closing five than what the Pelicans have.
You asking just Nick?
Well, I mean, you can answer as well, of course.
You can go first, CJ, because I'm gonna have to think.
There's a name a better starting five.
No, closing five, which would be still.
Yeah, say in some situations, right? Name a better closing five. I mean, listen, Russ, LeBron, AD, Lonnie Walker, and
Austin
Reeves. If they're all clicking,
if they're clicking. Of course.
I mean, LeBron and AD, just both of them had 30, 34 plus tonight. I know it's the Pistons, but.
Thank you for saying that part.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they're doing, what they're supposed to do.
Listen, I was just because I made the comment in the chat about it being against the Pistons, and we've got pulled up here. I was about to say, man, the Grizzlies beat the Pistons too. Like that was a great win for them. Just because Perry would be in here.
Facts.
But
that's an exciting series.
Anytime anybody wins a game in the NBA, it's a defeat. They're all professional players. I don't care what the team is. I can act like it to make my point, like that team's trash, whatever. Any team could beat another team in the NBA. I don't care who you're playing.
Yeah, Golden State's lineup definitely could give the Pels problems as well. Suns if they're playing, if Aiden is aggressive, Booker's aggressive, if Chris Paul's aggressive, they're playing like that. That's a great matchup. Celtics, Bucks, Nets, those teams.
What do the Nuggets closing lineup look like when healthy? Obviously,
Murray, Jokic, Michael Porter Jr., KCP, Aaron Gordon.
Yeah.
Okay.
What they got?
Honestly, I mean, Bruce Brown's giving some good minutes too, but I don't know if he's going to be here.
If he got it going, might have to throw Bones in there.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, yeah, definitely.
But more times than not, if Gordon's shot is on, you gotta have him in there because he can still bring it defensively with it. He still has people.
And that's good size too.
People sleep on his athleticism.
Mm-hmm.
We forget what he did in the slam dunk contest. He don't really play like that, but he could bring that out. You never know. So he's that versatile. So yeah, Nuggets definitely have a starting five that would give them problems because they have no one that could guard Jokic. Nobody can guard Jokic, but they have nobody that could guard Zion. So I'm saying it's a great series. It's a great matchup. All of those sound like 7-game series to me. I'm not saying that's going to be cakewalks.
I honestly think the Nuggets would give the most trouble for the Pelicans.
Really?
I do.
Maybe.
I don't think so personally. I mean, and look, I know that I have been talking bad about them, but but I mean, I know as far as the team, I've been talking bad about them, but I still think that the Suns will probably have a better chance against the Pelicans than the Suns or than the Nuggets.
Now we're back saying the Suns are good. Next, you're going to say the Lakers are great.
I never said the Suns were good. I just don't think that they're like the powerhouse in the West.
Lakers are great if LeBron and AD are healthy.
The Lakers,
Now CJ's turning on me here, guys. My goodness, what am I going to do?
I mean, come on, man. I mean, the Lakers have been playing well over the last recent weeks.
I just have evidence of them hosting up gold when healthy. So that's all I can go off of, brother. I'm sorry.
They have it. I agree.
That Mickey Mouse. Especially now, everybody's embracing their role. AD's playing well. Russ is playing well in the second unit. This is exactly what we've been wanting to see.
Exactly. That's exactly what we want to see.
Hey, we need to get us a 6 Man of the Year each week as well.
Yeah.
Didn't we say last week we were going to do one?
Josh brought that up. I don't remember. Maybe we might have, but
We said something. Rookie of the year is what Josh said.
I don't really know anybody else who's really played that well as far as 6-man, but Russ. Maybe that's just me being a casual.
6-man?
I mean, yeah.
I feel like rookie of the year
would be more fun.
MVP, MIP. Those are the top three. So we could just stick it to those three. I think we'd be good for sure.
Honestly, I think rookie of the year and MVP are probably more fun. The MIP is not that fun, but I like doing it. It's fun for me.
MIP's fun.
No, it is fun. It's a lot of talent. It's a lot of talent coming up, so they're getting better. So it's going to be a lot of young players that's going to be in that discussion, and they may supersede that discussion so quick that they may not even win the award. So it's definitely an underrated category for sure, my guy. Yeah, we got Kyle Kuzma. There's been reports about Kyle Kuzma. I actually saw some comments from Chandler Parsons. He was saying that Kuzma thinks he's an all-star, but he's not really that. And I got to see the whole context. I just saw a couple quotes, so I don't know the full context. I didn't read the whole thing. That's the
I agree with that to a degree. Like Kuzma's great. I think he's borderline. I think he's borderline all-star, not necessarily all-star yet.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's on that. He's on that spectrum. He's on that tier for sure. I agree. But I still feel like he deserves his money. Does he deserve more than 20 mil? Absolutely.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We've seen guys like Chandler Parsons get that type of bread and not producing those contracts. Get 2 contracts and not producing both of those contracts. So, and Chandler was, he was a cool player when he was healthy. He was a calm bucket. He was with the Rockets.
No,
he was knocking down some shots, but it is what it is. When he got those bags, he was underwhelming in both of those situations. So just because you were that way doesn't mean Kuzma's going to be that way. Kuzma deserves the bread. He's been stepped up. He's a champion. What is this guy talking about?
Honestly,
go ahead.
But I mean, I was going to say real quick. I mean, if it is true that Kuzma is in trade talks, like I would love to see like if Charlotte could possibly find a way to get him. Like I feel like he will complement a lot of those guys so well, like Rozier, LaMelo, and those guys. Like I really feel like he could thrive in Charlotte.
Well, they're saying he wants to be on a contender. So
I was going to say, I don't know why he'd go to Charlotte. Like, why would they trade for him just to be the same, though? Like if anything, I think any bad team is not going to try to improve any to be that like layover to be better because you got Victor just waiting right there to be picked up. Like,
right.
That's me, anyways.
They got Sacramento here on this Hoops Hype, hoopshype.com. This is the source that we're using, guys, for our audio listeners. They got Sacramento, Phoenix, New York. Phoenix makes a lot of sense. Again,
2 of those 3 teams aren't necessarily contenders.
Yeah, but they're. I mean, again, if you look at the standings and where they're at discrepancy wise, like I was saying earlier, it's like the difference between 1 and 2 wins. So if you bring a guy in like Kuzma, wait,
who you saying ain't contenders here?
Sacramento and New York.
Well, Sacramento's like in what?
They could get in the play-in. That's what I'm saying. If they bring in the clear right now they're playing. If they bring in a guy like Kuzma, it could get them to that top 6 potentially, and how they gel, how they mesh. So in a way they're kind of contenders. But I see where you're coming from. Like you're not saying they're gonna win a championship. Obviously, that's not the case. But in terms of play-in, potentially getting on a hot streak, shocking a team that should have beat them, people thought should have beat them, and they got into the playoffs, you become a contender. So in a way, but I definitely see where you're coming from. But Sacramento, I think Phoenix would be a good spot. Sacramento doesn't make a lot of sense because Keegan Murray and Kuzma kind of have like similar playing styles. So I mean, if you have 2 of them, cool. That'd be interesting to see. Would you still keep Fox? Would you still keep Sabonis? Like, what would that trade look like?
Exactly.
If you're able to keep all of those guys and get Kuzma, I'm Sacramento, of course. But I just feel like you're giving up somebody something. You're not just.
You got to give it somebody.
So yeah, that'd be interesting for me. And they're playing well. So why do you really want to, break that up? That's weird. Phoenix again. I don't know. I'm asking for bridges.
I don't know. I mean, I was saying like you could possibly do a swap, Kuzma and Crowder. But I mean, I know that Washington would probably ask for a little more.
Why not Crowder in a pick?
Kuzma and Crowder, you think that's a fair trade, straight up?
I mean, of course, Washington would ask for more. Yes, I would see that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I want to pick. I want McCall. I mean, I would ask for McCall Bridges. If they hang up on me, cool. But that's what I'm asking for.
I would say, yeah, Phoenix would definitely say
Hang
no
up
to
would be
that.
cool.
Phoenix is not saying yeah to that. I think Mikal is definitely going to be there
I
for
mean,
years.
look, I'm giving up a wing. I'm giving up a wing that could average 27 and 5. So
I'm just going to say
I
that.
can't ask for a wing back. Gee, I gotta get what? Yeah, okay, that's a robbery. That's a robbery. Kuzma for Crowder. One guy's in his prime.
I get it, but it's like I feel like it would be a good opportunity to at least get Crowder out of there because I mean you got to think. I mean he hasn't played all this year. He doesn't want to play, so it's like. And I mean we all know that Kuzma's way better, or like a much better player than Jay Crowder is. But
right, but that's a good trade. That's only a good trade for the Suns. That's not a good trade for the Wizards. That's a bad trade for the Wizards. It's a terrible trade for the Wizards. Why would they
Listen, I mean, we know if it's Crowder, there's going to be maybe one, possibly 2 picks in that. But I just want to say this, like, looking at the standings right now, the Suns are in 4th place and the Kings are in 5th place, and they're only separated by 1 game. So to say that the Sacramento Kings are not in the contenders when the Suns are, this kind of doesn't make sense to me. So I think Sacramento should make this move, if anybody, because Sacramento is a team that you're all in or not because they've always been bad. And they're kind of a mediocre or a small market team here that you go all in to try to be better, or you go ahead and blow it up and say, hey, let's reboot with what we got, you know? So I'd like to see Sacramento do whatever it takes to get Kuzma on this team and then go out and sign Cousins off the street for their center as well. And let's make this Kings relevant again because they're in 5th place right now, and they're only, 4.5 games back. Let me make sure. No, 3.5 games back out of 1st place.
Honestly,
so they could do this.
Yeah, but
I don't think they will, but they could.
What does that trade look like, though?
But that's what I'm saying. I feel like personally, I think
you're not worried about that part.
No.
I think the Wizards asked for Sabonis.
First round draft picks.
I think the Wizards asked for Sabonis. I feel like that's going to be what they want.
The Kings are going to say no.
Yeah, because that's what they're traded for to get. Like they're not going to trade that away. Like it's got to be trash and picks. Yeah,
Sacramento I don't see how that makes a lot of sense because again, Keegan Murray and Kuzma are similar playing styles, and unless you're giving up Keegan Murray, which doesn't make any sense because if that's how you want to develop him into that kind of like hybrid wing that could do a multitude of things, shoot the ball, play in the post, rebound, pass. If you want to, form him into that would hinder his growth. Even if we try to bring him in and he would still stay. So that would be weird. So I don't think Kings would be a good spot. Knicks. I mean, Obi's out, so teams are not going to want to take him right now. He's not Cam Reddish. Could definitely be Cam Reddish, Evan Fournier, Derrick Rose. I mean, we got some guys that we're not playing that could potentially be on the move here soon. So bringing a guy like Kuzma, Barrett, Randall, Brunson. If they play like a team, it sounds okay. But I'm still not a big fan of Tom Thibodeau.
I'm not a big fan of it. I'm not gonna lie.
So yeah, it just only reason why I wouldn't be is because of the scheme. That's it, because of Thibodeau. If we had a motion offense type coach, I'd be a fan of it. They'd move the ball. Everybody could get 20. You play free flowing basketball. That'd be great. You got young guys, play defense. You still keep Grimes, but we'll see. But definitely Cam Reddish, Rose, Fournier. Those guys are probably going to get traded. They're not playing. Thibodeau's only playing 9 guys, and those guys are out of the rotation.
So, yeah, I do think – now, let me ask you this real quick, too, because if Kuzma's out, do you think that Washington's blowing it up? Or do you think they're going to keep Bill or try to possibly test the trade waters for him as well?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think they should just still keep playing right now with the team that they have, see what they have, and then by the time All-Star break comes around, if they're not looking like they're going to contend or they're kind of trending in a bad direction, then you could maybe start to make moves. But I think right now, just continue to play, see if they can mesh, and if they mesh, that's a perfect scenario for them, and if not, then you're gonna get stuff back because they're obviously valuable pieces. They're gonna be valuable somewhere via trade.
Because right now they are in 12th place. They're 10 games out of first, and they're 11-16 with a 6-game losing streak.
Yeah,
so,
they're struggling right now.
That's tough. Guys, I need to go ahead and hop off of here. It's getting about 11:30, almost my time. It's 11:15. I don't know, CJ, is there anything else you want to talk about? I messaged Nick, said he was fine. Go ahead and end it. Are you good with what we talked about? I think it's been a great show. An hour and 35 minutes now. What do you guys say?
Yeah, man. Great show, man. Glad to chat it up with you guys.
Awesome. Sounds good. Let's go ahead and go around the horn. CJ, where can we find you at?
Yeah, Linktree/CJames9. Everything that I'm working on my platforms, on social media as well. You can follow me, see what I'm tweeting, see what I'm posting in my stories. More times than not, it's CTB, hard count content. That's all I post online. So look out for that. Make sure you follow us on our socials. We got the ticker right there at the bottom. Make sure you go follow us as well. So appreciate you guys tuning in. I think I saw like 10 people in here, 11 people in here. So thank you guys for watching us, tuning in. Make sure you like the video so more people can see it after the stream is over.
Absolutely.
Pops up on people's streams.
Share.
Pops up on their timeline.
Share.
Yes, sir. So appreciate you guys.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at CountBucketUSN. Follow us on Instagram at CountTheBucket_. Leave us 5-star reviews on all platforms. I think we're deserving of that. Follow myself at Nick Andre ATR on Twitter. Follow myself at Nick Andre ATR _Nick Andre ATR on Instagram. Some big news. We're reloading the website. Shout out to WordPress. Pretty much already got it up, but got a few articles dropping this week, so make sure to tune in for that.
Awesome.
Can't
of
wait.
Course, I can't wait to see Nick's better website than mine. I mean, he pretty much said mine was dog trash, but nah.
No, it's not yours. It was just like posted articles on there. Like as far as Wix, it was just giving me too many problems. And I was like, dude, like it wouldn't let me upload pictures. Like it wouldn't let me like schedule. And it's like, geez, like
WordPress is so much easier to use, bro.
I've never used it. So I'm excited about seeing this new one.
Yeah. It's going to be much easier, bro. Watch, you're going to see.
Awesome. Okay. Of course, you can find me personally, MDLawson00. Link in my bio for all our platforms on that. Of course, Count the Bucket now has a link tree as well where we have all that. Of course, we will be changing the website on there soon. But by all means, guys, follow us everywhere you can. Help us out. We couldn't do this without you guys. Well, we could, but we'd just be talking to each other. So we like the interacting. We love the interaction that we get with a lot of our posts, especially on Instagram with our weekly posts that we put with these MIPs, the MVPs, and now we're going to be doing a Rookie of the Week, I guess you will, as we continue to do on that. So, guys, we appreciate it so much. Keep following us. Keep sharing our stuff. And until then, we'll see you guys next week. Y'all have a good one.
Catch you guys next week.